Your network, your community, your tribe, whatever you call it, is one of the most important tools in your career. And in this video, I'm going to share 3 high-level tips that you can use to build a good network for your career growth. All right, so it's said that our network, our community, our tribe, whatever we call it, is one of the most important tool in our career growth. Now, I'm still very much early in my career, and in this video, I'm going to share 3 tips in how I'm approaching building the right network for my career growth and for me to achieve my career goals as I build a long, thriving career. Also, your network is very important in job hunting. So if you're job hunting and you literally just want to know about building your network for job hunting, stay and watch this video. All right, so the first thing I want to say is the concept of network. So when people think about networking, it's usually vertically. So it's usually connecting with people who are above them. You're a junior engineer, you want to connect to the senior engineer. You're a junior engineer, you want to connect with a principal engineer and stuff like that. Or you're a junior marketer, you want to connect to a senior marketer and stuff. So it's usually very vertically because more often than not, the idea of networking for most people is entrepreneurship related. So you go into a networking event and you're trying to network with people who are either future customers or people who would potentially be able to accelerate your business. And so, but however, I don't approach networking like that. If anything, most of my network in my career are people who I have actually mentored and people who have actually helped to become competent engineers. I believe more in horizontal communities. I believe more in having people around me who are moving forward and who are pushing forward, right? And so as much as possible, when I see people around me within my environment who I know that with a little help from me can get to a place where they can become as competent as I am in the job market, I do my best to help them because I want to have a lot more people within my age group, a lot more people at my own stage and of my career around me. And one major reason is this. It's the fact that I have people who can relate with my realities and I have people that I can collaborate with. And collaboration is very important for me. For instance, a couple of years ago, I was interested in learning way more on data structures and algorithms. And there was no way I could have reached out to anybody who was my mentor, who was above me. And so the people I could reach out to were people who were my colleagues, people who were at my level. And I had someone who was also interested in it. And we spent a number of months on it. Right now, I am learning about operating systems. I am improving my skill in Linux, in networking. And I have people around me who are also interested in doing this. And we have created like some form of accountability system around us. And I really like this because it ensures that I'm with people who are equally hungry and people who are equally ambitious with the goals I have. I don't have to, and for the lack of a better word, I don't have to pander to someone who is above me. I don't have to always try and find the best time to reach out to that person because I'm working with people who are equally hungry. Now, this is not dismissing the importance of networking with people who are above you. In my career, I have seen tremendous effects of people who had way more experience than myself. My remote career literally started because someone in the US took a keen interest in me. What I'm saying is that by default, 90% of the time when I'm thinking about networking, when I'm thinking about community, I'm thinking about people that are horizontally to a very large extent in my level, right? So people that are probably a few steps below me, people that are probably a few steps above me, or people that are within my level, right? So that's my idea of networking. Now, the reason why networking is important, and there's several reasons, but this video is focused on the job market right now, is because of trust. Especially right now in the job market where companies don't have a lot of funds, hiring managers need to ensure that you're maximizing those funds and they need to ensure that they're hiring the best person for the role. Companies need to ensure that they minimize the chances of getting the wrong candidates because people want people who can join the organization and get the ball rolling immediately, and they want to be sure that they've spent the right amount of money and they want to be sure that they have acquired the right candidate. And so it's an issue of trust. It's easier for me to trust someone within the organization who knows what we're doing. So if a person within the organization who has been here, who knows the culture, who knows how we're doing stuff, says, hey, I know someone, a friend of mine who's looking for a job, I would trust that recommendation way more than I would trust the resume because I believe that this person, especially if the person is excelling currently at work, I believe that this person knows what you're saying. They know what we need. And so if you're saying this person matches what we need, then definitely this person probably matches what we need. And I can push that person to the front of the queue and interview the person. Another form of trust is also the fact that if it's a colleague I've worked with in a previous job who's recommending someone, I know the person's work rate, I know the person's definition of quality, I know this person has high taste. And so if this person is recommending this XYZ person for me, I trust that because of their high taste, whoever they're recommending to me must definitely be competent and would at least be very close to my requirement for the job. And so that's one of the core reasons within the job market why networking is important. It helps you jump queues, it helps you jump through algorithmic filtering systems, and it also helps you get into an interview with positive bias. Because so this is the thing, if a colleague within the organization recommends you to the hiring manager comes to the call with a positive bias. They're already biased to accept you. What they're just trying to do is just see if there are few reasons to reject you. But if you're coming through the normal process, the hiring manager is not biased to accept you. The hiring manager is biased to judge and vet you. So this is one of the big reasons why trust and networking is important, specifically within the context of job hunting. There are several other reasons why networking is important, and I've mentioned them when I was explaining my idea and my approach to networking. So the first step for you to build your network is professionalism. Your ex-colleagues, to a very large extent, are the backbone of your network. When you join an organization and you have the opportunity to work with 5 people, those people are the best set of people in this world to vet your skill set. Those people are the best set of people to see if you're good at what you're doing. They're the best set of people to see your honesty. They're the best set of people to see your culture, to see your competence, to see your behavior. And if those people can say, check, 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 you've hit the jackpot. Because even though you use the other 2 methods I'm going to share, you're going to have to do a lot of work to convince those people. You have to do a lot of work to get into their space. But now your colleagues are people who have to work with you. You're already in their space. You see them every day. They see you every day. They jump on calls with you. They have the best assessment of your behavior. And that's the reason why hiring managers usually want references from colleagues, because your colleagues are arguably one of the best judgments of the full span that hiring managers are concerned about: culture fit, behavior, competence, professionalism, you just name it. Now, the second way is, and this is something I just learned recently, it is actually reading groups. Now, let's say you're currently out of a job, or let's say you're just starting your junior engineer, or you just had one job, and so you don't have a lot of people, and it's a startup of like 5 employees, so you don't have a lot of people that can reference you, or a lot of people that you can call your community. What I would recommend you use is reading groups. Now, there are a lot, especially if you're a software engineer, there are a lot of reading groups online where you see more professional people, and this is also even a means for you to build a network vertically, because it's a mixed group of people. There'll be people who are much more better than you. There'll be people who are not as good as you are, but there are definitely people who are way, way, way better than you in these reading groups. So for example, you find a reading group for a concept that you're trying to learn, and I'm going to be specific to software engineers. So you find a reading group of people who are trying to read a book, you join that reading group, and you must join it with best intent. You need to ensure that it's a book that you're interested in, it's a book that you really want to learn from, it's a book that you want to gain insights from. Join this group and you give it your best. You ensure that you're professional, you ensure that you comment, you ensure that you respond to the group emails, whatever the rituals or the process are for the group, you ensure that you commit yourself to it. And that's how people see your unique perspective. The next point I would say is conferences. And you're probably reacting and saying, duh, we know conferences. Well, just chill. Before you skip the video, just chill, right? You've stayed here this long. The idea is this: when you go to a conference, especially for early stage junior people, the goal for most people is to optimize for the speakers, to cozy up to them, to take selfies with them and stuff, hoping that you can give them an elevator pitch. And for most people, and I've had the privilege of speaking at conferences, and for most people who get the contact of the speakers and who take selfies with them, it's a lot of stress for them to overcome the emotional burden of reaching out to the speaker. So rather than go through that stress, why don't you just go to the conference for 2 main reasons? One, to learn, and secondly, to find people who came there to learn. You're going there to look for people who didn't just come there because they wanted to just go out, or people didn't just come there because they wanted to just cozy up to the speakers and stuff. You're looking for people who came to learn about the subject that the speakers came to the conference to talk about. So people who came to the conference to, if you go for a conference about Kubernetes, people who actually came to the conference to learn about Kubernetes, who are within your own growth or career position. And your goal there should be that you want to leave the conference for new learning mates, people that you can work on side projects with, people that you can start reading groups with, people that you can set similar goals with and can become people that you create accountability partners with. The last thing is personal branding. And the reason why I reacted like that is that if you've seen me talk about personal branding a lot publicly, you would see that I am not pro personal branding, especially for people in the early mid stage of their career. Even for me personally, when it comes to YouTube, if you speak to people who are close to me, I would not want to do it. But I believe that to an extent, for people who are around the same phase of my career or lesser, I might be beneficial to them. And I try my best to ensure that I share from my experience. I don't come to YouTube to teach you and be a thought leader. I'm just sharing my experience and my perspective, and that's the reason why I create content. So I don't necessarily like personal branding, especially, and I don't recommend it for people who are early stage in their career. However, it's undeniable that it is one of the best ways to build your network. I can recommend a way to build a personal brand without optimizing to be a thought leader, and it's two ways. You can consider sharing from your experience to people without necessarily saying this is how things should be done. So this is how I would do it. This is how I would approach it, and this is how I have approached it. So in that sense, you're submitting your opinion and you're allowing people to hear your opinion because they trust your opinion and they know it's an opinion and they can go back, vet it, and figure out how to apply it in their life. The second way, and this is the way I would recommend for a person who's early stage, is approach personal branding as you're learning publicly. So you're reading a book on XYZ, whatever you've read, whatever you've learned in the book, you write about it and you just post it. You're not teaching anybody. You don't necessarily even care if anybody reads it, you just post it to the void. Obviously, you hope people read it. Obviously, you hope it's in some sense signaling virtue at some point. But the key thing is that your primary focus is that whatever you learn, you're sharing publicly. So I hope this video helps you, especially if you're struggling to build your network. You can try the tips here. And please drop a comment on your feedback. And if there is any specific thing you want me to do a video about when it comes to the job market or building your career, please just drop a comment. I'll see it. I'll do the research. If I have thoughts on it, I'll make a video sharing my thoughts mixed with research. All right. I'm every day, and see you next time. Bye.